Hey, hey, we have some early birds. That's great. Just getting started. First spaces of the year, 2024. Yeah, it's a pretty busy time. We got my amazing co-host here starting the year off strong. Let's get him up here. Can you hear me, sir?
Loud and clear. How are you?
Nice. Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good. Just juggling all the stuff at the beginning of the year with the family holidays. Like in New Zealand, most places shut down for like 2 weeks,
That
Christmas through to the New Year.
that sounds amazing. That sounds
It
so
is pretty
good.
cool. So it's kind of like hard to get into work mode sometimes, but I've been pushing through.
Here's the opposite. Most people are just like, yeah, we'll close maybe for half a day on, Christmas and New Year's Day, but we got to sell stuff, so we got to be open.
I know, man. That's it, right? Everyone has to be ready. Like Hospo's got to be there for the service for all the people eating and drinking. You got to have retail open for all the shoppers at the
Yep,
malls. Yeah, man.
it never
Everyone's on.
stops. Yeah, that's exactly it. They're trying to just, essentially make as much money as they possibly can.
Yeah, but it is the year. It's the year of or the time of the year of spending.
It then
Yeah,
that's why they do it. You know what I mean? I mean,
yeah.
2024 isn't looking all that great, so they're like, we got to get as much money out of these people while we can.
Oh my gosh, I know. But then, they throw on the specials too, right? Like what I'm hoping to see is some specials on like these exchanges, like where you can buy not the centralized ones, but the ones where they have swap fees, like Changelly. I'd love to see like, hey, holiday 0% swap special. I'd be like, yes, this is it. It's the last chance.
Wow. I haven't seen many of those, but it sounds like you got a great idea in store here.
We need it. We need this. Whoever's listening, Eric, if you're listening, mate, I look up to you, you know, out of the kindness of your heart. Just give us some cheap fees for some more Bitcoin before the rocket takes off.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's a really good point. I mean, with this latest pullback, it's like, hey, we can get a discount once again.
Well, yeah, I
Don't you?
think, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, don't you ever forget, the troubles that we all went through for about 7 minutes.
Oh, I know, man. Jesus. Well, see, the crazy thing is like there's so much speculation around when the decision is going to happen. And people are like, "Oh yeah, it's Friday this week. Oh no, it's the deadline, the 10th." And everyone's going back and forth. Everyone's getting all hyped up. And hey, man, the market is going to be irrational longer than people, can be patient.
And
And that's what's
of
happening.
course, and does that mean that when the ETF gets approved and things get, moving, all those grayscale shares become unlocked and people can actually sell their Bitcoin?
Wow. That's the truth, isn't it? You see, we've had a few heads roll to start the year. Oh,
I'm not complaining about heads rolling if it means it's pushing things forward. You know what I mean?
that's right. Yeah, well, man, if you're listening and you're in the States, support Tom Emmer. And I'm not a political guy, but he's putting out, what is it, an injunction to get Gary dismissed. So I think that,
That's right.
it might be nice to see that happen too.
And it is about time. Let's be serious. It really is about time.
Yeah, incompetence. I mean, look, we're talking about like the most expensive fraud case in history, trading mackerel in prison. I mean, this is a joke. Aren't we living in some joke universe? Like,
It definitely feels that way. Like it's weird to even talk. Like, is that real? Like, is that really the world we live in? Where that's the conversations we're having?
yeah, and like, FTX is hopefully not. I mean, I don't know. They claim they're going to reboot and like get people compensated. Who knows, man? But like, I wouldn't touch that with a 20,000 foot pole, even from space.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know how that token is even alive right now. It just absolutely makes no sense.
Yeah, total speculation. But
You know,
hey,
it's
if
not
you're here,
speculation. You know,
what?
it's not speculation. Mask
Tell
and
me.
their updates.
That's right. Good segue there, man. We're starting off the year with some with some pretty cool stuff. We did have a little break, which was nice, and to kind of like fill the void of us being less active. Although some of our devs, massive hats off to them. Some of them were just working through. Some just love what they do, and they just kept doing their daily grind. But we did a little Christmas competition, which was quite cool. We did a 12 days of Maskmas, and we hid the seed words around the place. I think we got a lot of interested people and engagement from that, and it was quite interesting. The minute the last seed words were dropped, we did 3 in the last release of the clues. I think it was within like 9 minutes. Someone was already
9
ready.
minutes.
Yeah, and
That's
drained the
amazing.
wallet. I didn't check further on the transactions. I'm hoping that they actually held on and tried out Mask Premium.
Well,
but I think they might have.
I hope they moved it to the other wallet. That first and foremost, that did happen, right?
Yeah, so we
Okay.
purposely made it a little bit more steps. We had to transfer in Matic first for gas to get it out.
Ooh.
So they done that, and they were clued up. It didn't look like there was any issues there.
Wait, does that mean that if somebody funded the account with Matic, somebody else might have been able to actually withdraw it?
Well, who knows? I actually think it was the same wallet, but I can't. I
Okay.
didn't really look closely. Someone, whatever sleuths are out there, might want to have a little nosy and see. It was like I was thinking, how
Can
is
you
this gonna
imagine?
go?
You're like, I got it. I'm in. Let me put some Matic in here, and all of a sudden, somebody else does the withdrawing as soon as the Matic hits the account.
Oh man, like a self drainer. Right? They would have loaded a drainer into it. That would be the worst anticlimax for Christmas. Opening a present, you're like, yeah, what is this? And the box is empty.
Yep.
Oh
It's like
man.
I bought a brand new computer off of eBay, and you open the box and it's just a rock.
Yeah, it's just nothing in there. Just a pet rock.
No, but that's exciting. I mean, those are fun things. You know what I mean? And like, it gets the community engaged, and it's really awesome when we see people that have been, here through and through, actually getting even more involved and having fun, in the process.
Yeah, we wanted to make it a little different. There's lots of ways projects do little giveaways and promotions and stuff. And I think being the holiday spirit or the festive season, we were like, okay, how can we be a bit different? And then help people sort of get through different socials, right? Because we had clues leaked on here on X. We had it in our website, which we updated with like a clue on the bottom and the footer. We had it in our documentation page on Discord, Telegram, so you kind of had to float around. So the people who are OGs, which a lot of you listening are, you guys would have been well prepared because you're probably in all the channels and ready to go. So we thought it was quite good. It was good to see everyone getting involved as well.
So there's more coming, right?
Yeah, that was a taste. We got lots of things in store. So, this is the year of Mask. I think if there was ever a year where we're unanimously across our team, we all were like super enthused, we're feeling, wow, so many things are aligned. We can really get everything, not just development aligned across two, really, people forget we're developing 2 really complex pieces of software that they work, they're robust and the user experience is getting better and better. But like there's 2 big pieces of software that we're constantly building. We've got Mask Core and we've got Mask Web3 Browser. So many things are aligned now that we actually don't have a lot of blockers for very long, if any, to really push out what we've been really building up to in a way. When I look at it from a high level, that means that marketing is going to line up, community initiatives are going to line up. We've got something I'll talk about more, which is an ecosystem incubator that we're going to finalize details on. Like, I don't want to say too much because I want to just get it all fleshed out and then release it and get what people think about it feedback wise. But that also involves partners and rewarding people in the community, for being testers, not only up to now, but also for the ones who are still getting involved, the newcomers. It's pretty cool, man. There's lots going on, and we're going to try and, push out a few real good things to start the year and then have a really packed Q1 because that's where we're pushing now. It's really cool.
No, yeah, that's exciting. It's always nice to not have an end to your roadmap, to be honest with you. And I think a lot of people forget that. Like, the exciting thing is not to complete the roadmap, but to have things on the roadmap, because what do you do when you get to the end of it, right? Like you stop, you're done. No, well, like where we're at right now is like the most exciting part, because we actually have things to look forward to, and that's what keeps me going, at least, you know.
Yeah, totally. Back in the day, it's funny when you look, if you've been a few cycles into crypto, back in the one of the last booms, honestly, a website could be put up with a copycat white paper and a roadmap, and the same things are in the roadmap, and it always ended with like that weird sort of user adoption stage where they said, "Yeah,
Yes.
all the products we're gonna have 1 million users in this stage at the end." It's like, okay, well, come on, man, like. That's not, is that actually the end? Like, you got to actually deal with everything in between as well. And then those tokens were just obviously meme coins and crazy things that would just boom and bust. And it was just funny to see how that is. So it's kind of why we never opted for a public roadmap, only because we know things evolve in the space. We've got to evolve with the times and the security landscape and the technology landscape too. Like 2 years ago, AI wasn't even a
The thing.
common day
It wasn't.
phrase, right?
It wasn't a thing. People didn't know what it was at all.
Yeah, and if you're constantly like changing your roadmap and people don't really know about it, it's sort of like, well, hey, I've only checked that like the first time I looked at the project. Is it going to change? So that's a good reminder for everyone. We've got our activity board. We're actually updating it this weekend, just to tie in some things that are coming through sooner than we expected, but also that we want to like make sure people can keep an eye on. And so that's constantly evolving. And so if anyone wants to know, like, hey, what's actually being worked on now? What's not quite worked on, but obviously the team have it planned. That's where you'll find it. It's actually a Notion page that's public. And we put percentages on there as best we can to track the progress. So yeah, we're going to be using that a lot more as well. But we also have, to start off the year, right on the cusp of release, is our next version as well from Mask Browser, 0.8.6. We were almost going to make this 0.9, but we want the next one to be the big like firecracker one with the big change. But this one is actually going to showcase draggable windows within the browser. So we could talk a little bit about that, but basically, it's a way that users can see that you've got modular, like kind of like dApps within the browser that you can resize. The first one that we're showcasing is the dApp store itself, which we want to really build out in the first quarter as well, with new partners, new games, new technologies, and this will show you that you can actually, like, if you have a big screen, you can full screen Mask Browser and potentially have multiple things open and have widgets on the screen as you're browsing, which is really, really cool.
All right, I am actually looking up, because I think there might have been something. I think it was leaked from the dev room, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the one.
Might
That's
be
the
out
one.
there.
Let's see if you can drop that in here.
I'll get it up.
We did leak it. Yeah, we did leak it. That was from our wireframes, our final version of the wireframes, which are now all built. So we've deployed this. The challenge, just to talk about like a little bit of our making this into production. The challenge is that within Electron, it's not always the most friendly to build sort of windows within windows. And so because of the security design, you want to make it so the windows are isolated, within itself, because you might have a browser tab and you don't want a browser tab to necessarily communicate with other windows that are open. And it's just security practice, really. So we had to
nerding out for 2 seconds. You're essentially saying that each one of the tabs or dApps within Mask is going to be its own processy?
Yeah, pretty much what they call the render in Electron. And so the way security is designed in Electron is that the main process, which will run like functionality in the background, processing like communications, for example, with our Mask core that's running, that's networking communications of configurations and all that. You don't want a browser window to be able to communicate directly to all the same APIs that the main process is on. Because if a website's running like a script that could be malicious or injecting some code that's not supposed to be there, you don't want it to access other processes. So it's really it's security practice to make sure things are sandboxed properly. We're actually doing a big overhaul of that in general anyway, right now, to start off the year, but like sort of a checklist to just re-center all of that, make sure everything's still good in terms of having just the best practices available. But this is now showing that, you know, we've got it pretty much designed well. This dApp store is going to be on the screen. You can move it around. You can float it around. You can click on it to open up a browser tab, and they're all going to be like sandbox from each other. So potentially we can have multiple apps open. So you might have one app, which is your wallet-to-wallet chat box, and that's open right next to the dApp store, and then click on a button and your tab opens up. You know, it's like all like an ecosystem within the one window.
What do you mean like ecosystem? I mean like
Well, it
will
it is. It's alive. The whole ecosystem is becoming alive.
So essentially it's going to
cool, man.
operate as an ecosystem where the things are going to live within it.
Exactly. And what this will showcase with some of the stuff that we are finishing to be public-facing initiatives is that we want this to be an area where people can contribute, like say they have an idea of a cool project and they want to build a widget or an app. They'll be able to go ahead and build something compatible and have it just as an open screen that we can brand, you know, to have it like the same UI theme as Mask and run natively their tech. That's what we were trying to do with DM3, wallet-to-wallet chat. We've got that stalled a little. We've got to pick up the communications with their team, but their team's really great. Stefan there is awesome. They actually won a hackathon not long ago for their tech as well. That's what we were trying to do there. And that's not quite finished, but that's another example of what I'm talking about, is where you could basically have a project release like a widget, and all we do is say, cool, this is compatible, and we create a new widget window for it. Boom, it's in the app. And
That's
so
awesome.
the app will live on its own. Yeah, that's quite cool. Lots of cool stuff, man. We're getting very, very close as well. I want you all to hear it here as well, that my goal personally, I mean, I'm trying to push it with the tech team, is we want another wallet to be available in the app, in the browser app out of the box, not just MetaMask as the default, although we support Frame, which is great. Frame is largely browser agnostic because of the way they designed it, which I personally love, but it's a little more technical for people. So we want something that's maybe just as easy as MetaMask, but more DeFi related, more privacy focused, and more user focused. Because let's be honest. What's your opinion on MetaMask Action?
I let's just say I wasn't the nicest person to them at a conference or another. I got a free T-shirt for a little. You want a T-shirt? This was a great conversation. Was what I got from them, but it was ultimately like, so tell me about why you're giving people's IP addresses to third parties. It didn't go over so well.
Don't get me started. I know. Is that T-shirt part of your rags now? The bag of rags you used around the house?
I have not worn it once. I gotta admit to that. I have not touched it. It's just sitting there.
That would have gone into my rag bag for cleaning the lawnmower and stuff, you know? Just to sop up some oil spots, you know, and all that.
All right. All right. So the thing with MetaMask is that we put up with it. You know, ultimately that's what it is, because they do have the market share. So we kind of deal with it. I use MetaMask almost every day. I don't want to say I do it every day, but like I have alternatives. Like I'm in some beta programs for wallets that are not even out yet, that I'm using instead of MetaMask, just because I do value my privacy and I don't want everybody to know, you know, where I'm at, what my IP address is. And I mean, I'm using a VPN 9 times out of 10 anyway, but still, like I want to make sure that I control my data ultimately.
Yeah. I mean, here's something I'll share, because like I wouldn't essentially say it's a bug. It's not on our end, but to showcase exactly what you're saying, users now can see what we're talking about in terms of how MetaMask kind of doesn't really respect the user privacy of a new user. If you're a new user of Mask and you open up the browser after you onboard and you're not connected to Mask, because we have a click option to say, I want to skip connecting to the Mask network for now. I just want to explore, right? You can click through and you're not connected to Mask. And if you don't have Mask Premium, it's not going to let you browse websites right away because you're not connected to anything. If you try to open MetaMask at that point and start a new wallet like a new user, it will actually fail to load because MetaMask forces you in your browser to connect to one of their sites. It doesn't have a static HTML like onboarding screen. It actually forces you to jump on their servers.
And that is... Sorry, it's just like, come on now, like how... That's just stupid, isn't it? I mean,
how bad
in today's
is that?
world, like, that's unbelievable.
It basically is saying to the user, if you're not online, so we can collect some user analytics, you can't create a wallet. Now, if anyone in the world says to you, you have to be online to create a wallet, right away that's a security risk in some fashion, whereas most maxis of crypto will tell you, always create a wallet offline just to be sure, right? Or an air-gapped device. Even air-gapped devices could have security concerns. So it's not to scare people, but it's like, if you want to look at best practice, which I've done.
Paper wallet.
Yeah, I've done it for all my wallets, like paper wallet first with the seed words, and then you import it to a wallet you trust, and you never, ever share it, ever. And so the fact that you have to connect to a server just to start a new wallet as a new user of MetaMask is kind of like, come on, man. So it came out through lots of testing I was doing with our team where we realized, man, there's a few users that are saying like they open MetaMask and it's not working, or it says it clicks a tab open and it says not found. And we're like, why would a browser extension tab not be found? Isn't it like stored in the browser extension? We realized, it's because MetaMask is forcing the user to go have data to their server first for whatever it is. And it just didn't work. So anyway, all this is a big reason why we don't want to be reliant on MetaMask at all. And we also want users to be able to see what else is out there. There's a lot of amazing wallets out there that are, like you said, you're testing a bunch of them. There's a lot of them that are experimenting with account abstraction, which is very, very cool technology where you don't have a private key that could be compromised. You have like a sharded wallet that could be social recovered, whether it's by email or a saved file you can store on a USB offline, something like that. Like all that technology is coming to life. But there's lots of ones that are really gaining a great user base. Robbie is one that we've been tinkering with. Phantom is coming out with some really cool stuff. Who else is there that we've been looking at? Tahoe. They used to be called Tally. Used to be called Tahoe. There's a lot of cool ones, and we'd like to support at least one of them,
Yeah, and that's a good thing, right? Like, obviously, we care enough about it, so there's other people out there that care enough about this stuff too. So there's definitely development happening, and like that's the coolest part of it all for me is to see that we're not alone in this. There's other people out there that know that people care enough and are in the market to use something better, to upgrade their their MetaMask, which we're unfortunately kind of bound to a certain extent. Where we kind of have to deal with this. And yeah, it stinks, but I got to use it every day because I want to make sure how the users are using it and how things are happening and what people are experiencing, just because they do have the market share, unfortunately.
Yeah, they do. And I feel like their approach worked for the first few cycles that they really gained the traction. But I think most people who've been in the crypto scene a couple of years, they all share the same sentiment that the UX, the user experience, and then the sort of basic features you'd want nowadays is just it's never been evolved. It's never been improved. Having 5 clicks just to add a network, of a new chain you want to use. It's just all that stuff is silly, and with the funding they have, obviously it being owned by Consensus.
Oh boy. Tell me about it. Yeah, and I just got off a call with a blockchain. Well, it's not even a blockchain, with a different platform that doesn't have MetaMask. And you're right, they have money because they're funding some projects in like places that they want to, get involved in, and like, oh yeah, we're not happy with the change that we're able to support. We want to go even further. So they're throwing money out there. It's just like I wish they would throw money into some better areas. But the money is there. People are definitely. I mean, if you're trading on MetaMask, I'm so sorry. We should not be friends. Or we can have a conversation. Let me explain to you how much you're taking, from you, and then we can be friends. Just because, man, they are honestly taking away from so many people, and it's just sad. It's just really sad. Don't trade on MetaMask. Make sure you're going to, a platform to actually do your trading. It's just not worth it.
Yeah, don't get skimmed with the fees and the middleman cut, like it does. Well, why would you want to sacrifice if you're becoming a mass supporter and you're holding mask, you want to get some? Why lose any precious, mask tokens just because for convenience?
Yeah. It's like buying a Bitcoin ETF instead of buying Bitcoin.
Yeah, exactly, right. Thinking it's more secure. Well, hey, we don't want to do the research on how the tech works. We just want a piece. It's like, all right, guys. Well, if suit yourselves. I guess it's just weird. No one wants to deal with the real.
It is. I'm right there with you. But let me ask you a question. You said that this update, it's not going to go to another number. It's not a big enough update. Is that what you're saying?
Well, it is a big update, but I feel like we wanted to save some of the power. Like for those who are, more technical, where you look at a version number, because we follow like semantic versioning. The first number is the major updates. Second is minor. Third is a patch, or like a patch update. So we've got a big one for 0.9, and we're hoping that'll be done soon. That's the node hop selection. Because that is actually a game changer. That basically means that a user can hop in, start using Mask, and have it behave like a traditional VPN if they want, which is closer to like 2 hops or 1 hop. Or they could say, I want to go mega secure like a boosted Tor, above 3 hops. I want to go 5. And that means like my traffic's going 5 places before it gets to the server. So anyone observing there's absolutely no way anyone can trace my patterns and things like that. And it's super secure. So that's huge, because there is literally, as far as we know, not a single technology that does mesh networking or peer-to-peer that can do that. And this will, if everything works as well as we have tested, it'll be even customizable in runtime, meaning your mass connection may not even turn on and off. You'll just click, I want to boost from 3 hops to 4. Okay, is it successful? Cool. Nothing's like, I don't need to do any extra stuff with 1 click. That's huge. I can't even explain, without demoing it, which would be super cool. But it's not a lot to see when you see it demoed. It's just your traffic behind the scenes is moving around. But it's just really, it's next level stuff. This is like leading edge. It's exactly what we're building. It's leading edge stuff.
So this is where we have all the giant nerds that actually care about this stuff join, right? It's that the
Yeah.
0.9.
Well, it'll be that, and also the people who don't care about the tech as much. And bless you all. That's actually why we build amazing things like the browser, because we don't want people to have to be geniuses to use a tech that they just want the features from, right? People who say, look, I've been using Mask, I would love for it to be faster. Well, this is for you guys and girls. You just change your node hop down from 3 to 2, from 2. We think we can do 1, which is just like a final few tests in these different things that we're doing. You'll get a speed boost. It might not be as super untraceable, like in terms of, being mask level untraceable, which is 3 hop default. You can knowingly, with the little pop-up reminding you, hey, I just want to do a little, this isn't something that like I'm going to get in trouble for browsing necessarily. I just want a little less security, but more speed. You can hop to 2 hops or move to 2 hops, boom, and you get new speed. And with less hops is less cost. So you actually can influence when we're in mainnet, this is relevant, but especially in testnet as well, your less hops cost less to route, because you're not hopping through as many people and having to pay for the hops and services.
Wow. So
cool.
Are we saying like 3 times cheaper essentially if you're going for 1 hop instead of 3?
The algorithm is a little skewed on the exit nodes, so you'll probably have like a third cheaper if you do one hop less
Got it.
around. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we're going to do some documentation and stuff for people to get more clear on it, but essentially you will be saving quite a bit by reducing the hops. Now, conversely, you increase the hops because you maybe are in a place you want extra security, you're browsing things a little bit more sensitive, you really don't want any, you know, you want that additional layer, some extra hops, then you can up it and it will cost a little more because you're paying for a few more hops around the world or more nodes. And that's how that works. So that's huge. That's going to be our point
Yeah.
0.9. We'll probably pack a few more things in there too, which would be nice. Maybe even that next browser. I did mention the one we're testing final tests in. I mentioned them today. So one of the names I mentioned.
Now, I gotta say, 0.9 is the last one, right?
That's optimistic, my friend, because we have a lot of work to do. We will probably go up into 0.10 and stuff at least, only because we want to iterate the features.
Wait,
more so
isn't that just 0.1 at that point? Like, are you sure about this?
well, semantic versioning does go above 0.10. You can have 2 digits in the middle. So so people like, don't be like, oh, he tricked us. But can't the devs do something? He went to a 0.10 and not a 1.0.
Everybody's over here with the
1.0.
stick. Devs do something.
Yeah, with that meme with that guy from Cameo, right? With the fake
Yep.
goatee.
Exactly.
What's that guy's name? I've been looking to figure out who he was.
Oh, I'll
Is he
find
still
it.
around?
I'll find it.
Man, that was like the peak of last season, with the meme coin boom with that guy. He had like the tattooed eyebrows and
Hard Rock Nick.
that's him. And he had the gold chains. Man, that was him.
Yes.
I wonder if he's up for hire. We got to get him.
You know
him on
what? I mean, they do. What is it? Cameo?
Is that still a
Yeah.
thing? I don't think people use that as much anymore.
It's a thing. People are.
Is it?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I mean, even ex congressmen are on there now.
What?
It's
But it's its own platform, right? Does it post through that onto TikTok and Insta and all that? Or is it its own?
Okay, this is how it works.
I'm an idiot with this stuff.
You request a video, and somebody will record it and send it to you. So, like, you can book a personal video from Hard Rock Nick for $49, and you can ask him to say stuff about whatever you want, like happy birthday, Corey, like all of this, like he's got holiday, birthday, spooky message, pep talk, roast, advice, question, and other. So like he is definitely up for hire.
Oh man. Like that's just so funny. I honestly thought that was like a kind of a fad that came and went, but that's that's amazing. Maybe there's some people that are like quite into our sort of spectrum of the tech space that we could find on there. That's crazy. I didn't realize that was still a thing.
Oh, it's out there. There's some interesting people, I'll tell you. Maybe I'll get one for your birthday or something. Get you some tattooed eyebrows to say hello to you.
Bro, if he came out and said the Mask team are doing something, that would be great. Like the opposite of what he was saying. That would be great. But make it funny.
He doesn't have to try to make it funny. Let's be serious. Just having him say it is funny enough.
Oh man. So many memories of that. Like good and bad memories from a couple years ago.
Yep. For sure. For sure.
But with your asking of the 1.0, that's what we would consider as mainnet. So that's like when we turn on the Polygon mainnet, like Bootstrap nodes, and people can just run it. Tokens live. It's running on real Mask, real utility tokens. It's got a value, so it's basically it goes real at that point. That's what our 1.0 version will be marked by, and by then we'll definitely have a whole load of features that we feel are required, which we talked about before. One is the node hop count, the node hop selection. A second is price limiter, which we're actually finishing part of that now. That's being tied in to a new set of panels for the user. And essentially, that will mean that a user who's new or wants to just like kind of treat it as a service of the privacy side, they can say, I only want to spend X amount of mask this month. And this price limiter will just watch how the browsing's going and track how much they're spending in real time. So you don't overspend what you might want to set as a limit. It's optional. You don't have to use it, and you can adjust it any time or turn it off. But we think that's a key feature where people will want to obviously like preserve mask too, because it's a very, important utility token, but also allow people to treat it like a privacy service as well.
No, absolutely. And that's going to do wonders for just the tokens moving back and forth between, players. They're going to have a little more. Like, to me, that means also you get to control the usage of tokens, which is kind of exciting.
Yeah, 100%. And we often get the questions from people because it's fair. Like, they come and say, well, hey, I love the concept. I've tried it out. Will you be comparable to using a VPN? Like I pay blah, blah, blah a month, like $10 a month for this XYZ VPN. Like, is it going to be around that price? And often what we can say now, at least this as well with this feature is, well, actually, depending on how much browsing, you can limit it to being a certain budget. If you only want to spend $10 a month, cancel your other VPN, take your credit card information back, preserve your identity, and use Mask, and you can make sure you don't overspend $10 a month. And people are like, cool.
Again, power back to the user. That's the coolest part of it all. It's not something like it's even for Mask. It's for the users themselves, so they can decide how they want to browse and what's really important to them.
Yeah, and it's all like a moving set of experiences, because that's something obviously a year ago or 2 years ago we might not have even thought was required on our roadmap to mainnet. But after getting a lot of feedback from our great, amazing testing community and all the users that are coming in, that's something that we feel like is important for the users, not only to have, we'll put it this way, if you're using, quite a new technology and you're starting to spend real tokens, real money, you kind of want to know what it's going to be or whether there's a budget. Like, you don't want it to just run off like 2 days later, you realize, oh no, like I was putting it on the highest security setting with 6 hops and now I've used all this mask. I didn't expect this. And you kind of get upset. Like, oh, I spent this too much. But yeah, it's a way that it'll help people because it's new as well.
Yeah, that's like back in the day where you were dial up and you're like using a long distance phone number, and all of a sudden at the end of the month, you're like, great, I'm dead. So it's nice.
Oh man. Or remember the old days of Napster where you accidentally left it running and whatever, and like you were downloading stuff and it was going all night and you were like, oh no, you used all your data. Those are the days.
Good old days. But yeah, having options sounds phenomenal.
Yeah. So look, we're really, booting things up, starting off the year really, really strong. This next release hopefully will come out in the next day or two. So users will see that with the new browser, draggable windows in the browser. We're pretty excited about it because it did take a little while to get right because we had to wrangle quite a few internal challenges to make it work just the way it should. And also, it's what we call it's a reusable component. So the reason it took longer was we want to reuse this type of framework for other apps. So later on, we can use the same thing to open up a chat app or open up your D-Storage app or open up a special wallet that might be compatible, like all that type of stuff. So,
and we're going to get a little update Mask button on the top right-hand corner, right? Just like we've been seeing with all the other ones.
Yes, sir. When you start up Mask, and I think every few hours it might actually ping to see if there's an update. If there is, you'll see a little green update button there. It'll prompt you. You click on it. It will cause a restart of the browser once it's downloaded. So don't be, shocked if it closes and then reopens. It's because it's updating. and it's all good to go. There's a few other things in there. We'll release a change log because there's a couple other cool little tweaks and things we've added in along the way. But that's a big one for us, at least, as well. Just showing just how that user experience is evolving now, because it's all living in masked spaces, right? Like when you open Mask, we don't want it to just be feeling like, yes, it's a browser and it's private, but we want these masked spaces that you see on the screen to feel like you own it, you customize it. You can have a window for this here, and switch spaces. You can have something else open, and it's fully like your space. That's going to be really important.
Now, with the more hops, the exit node's still going to be the one that essentially gives you your location. Like, let's say you're doing a search on pre-search, obviously, that's the one you're going to be doing your searches with. And it's something that's location specific. You're still getting that exit node location, essentially, right?
Yeah, that's right. So you're routing inside Mask core locally on your computer. You're always your own software is building the routes. So it's not like Tor. It's not shooting off to a directory that you trust and they make your routes for you. Like whatever your known neighbors around you are, it's going to compose a route for you, which is firstly going to try and be the cheapest one. It's going to pick the cheapest one, and that exit node it selects for your routing. If you're going to a website and that exit node can get it for you, that'll be your route. So if you have 3 hops in between, that's not going to affect your exit node, because if you change it to 5, it'll just try and if that's a favored node to use where the website's it's deliverable, it'll just add hops in between. So essentially, we call those relay hops. Essentially, you're having nodes in between, passing it to another one before the exit node. So yeah, that's a good question, because the exit node may be one you've used before, but if you use more hops, it'll just add more hops in between.
Well, here's a crazy action question that I apologize for asking on a live space without giving you prior heads up on. When custom location set. So like, for example, on Chrome, usually when I browse with Chrome, like I want to be able to get results from a specific location, especially when I'm doing like SEO for different locations. I go into, dev mode, and then I set my, my geolocation to a custom location, which, the dev mode allows you to do. Or on Firefox, actually set my longitude and latitude with that one.
Okay, so you're talking about, that's cool that you mentioned that.
Yeah.
You're talking about something that overlaps into something called browser fingerprint.
Yes.
Have you heard of the browser? Yeah. So browser fingerprint, that's something where there's a set of data points which has expanded a lot over the last few years. I've done a lot of research on this for a function that we're trying to build as a feature too.
Even your
I believe
processor
Brave
has a fingerprint. Like this gets crazy. We can go down that route, and like you can actually pinpoint what computer is doing what processing based on the processing fingerprint, which is wild.
Oh, it's insane. It gets your default language from your OS. It gets your viewport, so it can tell if you're on a tablet as opposed to a mobile app. That's how you get mobile responsive websites. It's taking your user age. They call it the user agent string. This is a string of data that is supposed to be pseudo-anonymous, but the side effect of that is if you collect data points from people and you can patternize them or like track them across different aggregated harvesting, let's just say, you build a fingerprint. Now, a fingerprint's unique, right? No one else in the world has the same fingerprint. Essentially, if you track enough data points, every user is unique because they can say, cool, this user XYZ here, we don't know his name, but we know enough about him. We kind of know what he's up to from site to site because we all track all of them together under one umbrella. So you'll have, like, for example, the default language, the OS, the browser type, the version of the browser. Maybe they're using an older version. And it's telling all that crap gets compiled into a user set or a data set, and then they can do that. So we're actually experimenting with a feature for that. There are ways that browsers have tried to mitigate fingerprinting. I think Brave does it with a randomized way. So the tricky bit with fingerprinting is you can't randomize it too much because then it becomes more unique. So if you
Yep.
use it longer, you still become unique. You know what I mean? You want to hide in the masses. So yeah, it's kind of crazy with that. But hopefully on our tech roadmap for the core software, we're doing a really big upgrade of some tech debt and stuff that's carried into the new year. But that is one of our features too we want to start working on, which is being able to choose your exit location across mass networks. So that's obviously one of the biggest desirable features of a VPN. If I want American content in the US, I can select US. It takes me to a US server as my exit node, and I can surf the US. Now, ours is country jump mode, which we've called it, where it's randomized. It's going to go off the cheapest route, but may not be where you exactly want it. So we're trying to, solve that part of it while keeping people's user privacy still paramount. Have a way where you can select like where you want to go. Now, if that region's not available because you're in a different part of the network, it won't give you a website there, or it will prompt you, hey, you're not in vicinity of a USA based node, but there'll be ways to try and offer that. And that's actually like there's a whole bunch of features that we feel like if we can achieve them, Mask will be unstoppable, like 100%. It'll be like as a solution for.
It's not. I'm sorry. Let me correct you. It's not if. It's just when.
Yeah, that's true. I guess I'm quite try and always be realistic in terms of telling people, yeah, one day this is going to happen. And they're like, yeah, is it tomorrow? Because you overpromise in crypto easily, and people are like, yeah, that's tomorrow, right? You're like, no.
I didn't hear a single promise. I just heard things that you want to see implemented, man. So yeah, don't you worry.
No, I'm always. I guess it's like conditioning from crypto, isn't it? You're not trying to like tell people just what they want to hear, but you want to make sure it's possible. But you're exactly right, though, in a way, in lots of ways actually. That it's not a matter of if; it's a matter of when, and resourcing. So, like a big deal for us was hiring the end of last year, hiring another dev. He's been really great. He's in the browser team. He's pushing some of this functionality that we're just about to release and working on to unlock a whole bunch of stuff that we're going to build as features as well. Part of that is this draggable window stuff. So we want to do that. We want to expand the team because more hands make light work. So a feature like that where you can choose your exit location, it's going to require some brains. We've got a bunch of really good gigabrains, but we need, more. So yeah, we're definitely looking forward to that too. But that's on the roadmap. So with those two things, fingerprinting, resistance, I guess you could say, and exit node selection, you could do what you say, actually. You could say, I want to look like this type of user device, hide in the masses, but I also want to go to this location for the content. And you could essentially do that.
Yeah, that's absolutely huge, because yes, some data providers like let's say Netflix or some others, they might check exactly where it's coming from, but a lot of times if it's just a matter of browsing and let's say it's a search and you want to get the search results for the things that you're looking for. Right, it's very light data that you're looking into, but you want to get the results that are meaningful to you. And I think people forget that a lot of times. People that use VPNs, they don't have. I'll say it this way: VPNs can't do this for you because VPNs are geared towards providing you with a different exit location. They just can't do it. But now when you have
just a proxy,
right? When you have Mask Core plus Mask Browser, now the game changes because it allows you to not only take care of the route, as you would say, the routing, as well as where you want to look like you're browsing from.
Hey, well, don't talk to some of our UK buddies in the team. They'll call it routing. And
yeah, that's just worse. That's just worse.
I'm like, hey, did you check your router? He's like, yeah, I rebooted my router. And I'm like, oh man, I'm not going to, I've heard this enough to know you mean router, right?
Oh, I love it.
Bless him. If he's listening, he knows I'm joking about one of our good friends in particular. But yeah, it's good. But we really want to push the envelope. I mean, some browsers have achieved some some of these things, but not all one to not rule them all. What would be like a little cheesy Lord of the Rings thing? One browser to mesh them all.
I
Right?
love it because I'll tell you, like, this is some of the things that I do now, but it's a pain in the butt to do it, right? Like, it's all manual work. It's all manual. Like it.
Well, you're having to grab pieces from everywhere, right? You got to use
Yes.
this proxy and this DNS provider and this software and this browser, and you're like, shit, I'll just subscribe to 4 different things just to make one outcome.
Exactly, which is why I say it's not a matter of if you can do it; it's just a matter of time. That's all it is, because the solution exists. It's just you're just packaging it and getting it all under the same roof.
Yeah, and I think what you said is for people who search a little deeper under the way some of these solutions work that are easy to use, right? VPNs, you get the location you want, like you say, but you're not getting any of your, I guess, the things you do want that are user specific, right? Whether the things that you already opted in for or desire, because you're essentially saying to the server there, hey, pretend you're me, but not be me, and give me all the stuff I'm asking in that country. And they are acting like they're the server that are delivering you the stuff. That's why it's called a proxy. You're getting it through a third party, but they're not you. So you're getting what they see in that country, and then they just pass it, they hand it on to you.
Bingo.
And Mask is fundamentally different because if anyone who is technical wants to learn about it, in our docs, you'll see that with the transport protocol layer, Mask is using your client, you as the browser window, to secure the traffic. So when the server does give the traffic to whoever your exit node is, not only is it encrypted, but the only recipient is you. No one can decrypt it. No one can pretend it's a different machine. It's secured between you and the server still, which is really, really unique. And I don't think there's really any other privacy networking software that's doing that or able to do that quite like we do. And that's what sets us apart. Yeah.
I have not seen it yet. Like, if you find one, let me know, because I'd want to try it out. But I have not seen one that does what Mask is doing, which is super awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. There's some P2P tunneling and different things. Like I think libp2p is quite cool. Like it's like a different protocol, which has got a lot of promise as well. And these types of things, like we have already looked at some of them because there's ways to make them composable, right? Like if we can make early in the design, there's something called protocol packs, right? Right now we're only using TCP, which is a lot of the traffic in the world. So that's good because when you're using Mask, you're going to look like a lot of traffic in the world. You don't want to look unique. Tor looks very unique. So that is a vulnerability of using that software or that routing protocol the way it's designed. So in the future, we can support UDP, which means you'll get much faster performance from things that rely on that, like YouTube, streaming, voice calls. Like voice calls would be VoIP over IP, so it might be another protocol. P2P is its own protocol because you're relying on sort of like a different security signing, sort of thing. It's not like a TCP transport. It's very different. So like all these things, again, it's like not a matter of if, it's a matter of time and when. They can be supported in Mask, even to the point where, this might be the point that we can wrap up on, but we have the structure in the software as well, where if a user is here's a scenario, a user is in a country that has banned crypto. So how can you use Mask? Because you need utility tokens to secure it. How do you use Mask? And so we kind of have a way, we haven't completed it, but there would be a way where you can, adjust the setting, and then the Mask software will know, hey, I better make sure this traffic is hidden over the Mask protocol first before I even do anything, and not try and ping an RPC that might be Infura or someone that throws up a flag and says, oh, this guy's accessing something crypto. It'll be innocently looked at without any worry. And then that user now has access to the whole world of crypto and DeFi and RPCs and all the stuff they need, and they can acquire Mask without worrying because they have a grace period to do it. Like all that type of stuff, future-proofing that type of stuff, like that's the potential of what is here. It's already existing. It just takes, just takes time. So yeah, I could talk a long time about that stuff, but people kind of, they just want to try it.
And others doze off when we get too nerdy. I get it. I'm over here going, yeah, UDP sounds exciting. I'm like, you can use, BTLS, and then you can support multicast. Like, there's a lot we can do with it. And I'm like, nobody wants to hear this. They just want to turn it on and have it work.
Yeah, they're like multicast. That means I can like stream on 5 monitors at once, right? And you're like, no. This is the router. This is the router activity.
the router.
Oh man,
I love
us with our nerdy jokes, man. We gotta do it sometime.
You guys, so yeah, I mean, just a heads up for anybody listening to the space. You guys get 2 options: you either get nerdy jokes or you get dad jokes. So enjoy.
Yeah, it should be like that. I don't know if you guys get that show, like Banana in Pajamas, where it's like B1 and B2. And then these 2 characters for kids, and that's his name.
That has been on in like 20 years, man.
It's old. It's like that's how old we are, right? So we could just be Tech Dad 1 and Tech Dad 2 from now on.
There you go.
And we just alternate different types of jokes, and hopefully at least one person laughs in the crowd. Then we're okay.
I love it. Yeah, guys, please encourage this. We're not getting obviously enough encouragement at home that we need to drop all the dad jokes and nerdy jokes into the space. So yeah, if you can provide a little support, it'd go a long way. As Corey gets quiet, lovely. That was just reassurance that they were not funny. Oh no! All right. So if Corey did disconnect, I gotta make sure I say this. Oh, you're there. Because you only have a little bit between you not being here and like us getting all rugged. I was about to go into the whole, hey guys, make sure if you haven't checked out Mask yet, you want to go to the website to download the software. We can go right to mask.ai to try the browser, and make sure you're following everybody else on Twitter. There's a button right on the homepage there. But yeah, and look out for that new update, because we are going to do .10, right? Just confirming.
There'll probably be a .10, but
okay. So there's a minor update right now, major update in a little bit, and then we're going to get other updates before mainnet.
That's right. But I have told everyone before, those who listen to multiple spaces, that when you see those certain features come live, that means we're like super close. Like really, I doubt there's other major milestones that are needed. It's going to be the node hop selection, the new panels for consuming and serving, which will have the price limiter in it, and these draggable windows. That was one of them. So like we're one of 3 milestones needed for mainnet, basically, to turn it on, where everyone can serve and earn and browse, and the token is live. And that's going to be where the world changes. So that's that.
That's music to my ears. Let me tell you, music to my ears.
Yeah, man. But hey, it was great to catch up and start off the year with a great session here. I hope everyone's like taking some, tidbits of alpha and information out of here. Those who are loyal, always tuning in. Thanks for having a break as well with us. We had a little rest, and now we're back in action. And with action, making the action with us, and it's good. So looking forward. It was a
perfect break. I got sick in between there, so it was the perfect break for me to get sick and get back on my feet, so I can be back in here. So it was just the right amount of time. I hope you're doing better.
I hope you're well now. You sounded a little bit congested still.
It's not even congestion anymore, man. It was pneumonia. It's just the lungs that aren't getting enough air. It's all right. We're back in business.
Nice, man. Make sure you take care of yourself. Get some touch grass. Get some sun, as we all need to. And until next time.
Have a great one, Corey. I appreciate you.